Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from the Daily Signal dated September 17th, and it says, what happens when Trump designates Antifa a terrorist organization? And it's about damn time that this happens. It's been a very, very, very long time coming. It says, I was just looking for an answer. There's no answer yet. We got to read the article for that. It says, President Donald Trump announced Wednesday, so by the time you're listening to this, this would have been the past Wednesday, that he will designate Antifa, a loose coalition of activist groups that has engaged in violent riots across the country in recent years, a terrorist organization. And he said, I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designated Antifa, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster, as a major terrorist organization, the president posted on Truth Social. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices, Trump added. And of course, the now famous thank you for your attention to this matter. It says, left-wing organizations have fueled violent riots, organized attacks against law enforcement officers, coordinated illegal doxing campaigns, arranged drop points for weapons and riot materials, and more, White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson told the Daily Signal in a statement Tuesday. Sorry, just got a case of the hiccups there for a second. It says the Trump administration will get to the bottom of this vast network inciting violence in American communities, she added. This effort will target those committing criminal acts and hold them accountable, which would be very nice, because nothing ever seems to happen to these people. It says, while protests in the name of the Black Lives Matter movement occasionally grew into violent riots before 2020, the riots that followed protests in the name of George Floyd that summer set a horrifying record for violent destruction. It says Property Claim Services reported in 2021 that the protests between May 28th and June 8th, 2020, resulted in more than $2 billion in insurance payouts, the largest riot and civil disaster catastrophe on record. And I said in my video yesterday that it was, I think, $1 billion. I was obviously very wrong by that. It was twice that. It says at least 26 Americans lost their lives in the riots. And the number given in the article I read yesterday was 6. And I think I said like it was a few dozen. I thought I saw like 33, but we'll go with 26. It says it includes black people like 77-year-old retired St. Louis Police Captain David Dorn. According to the State Department, under Executive Order 13224, which President George W. Bush signed after September 11th, 2001, the designation of an organization as a terrorist organization leads to many immediate consequences. Federal law enforcement will have the ability to block the designated organization's access to property or ability to conduct transactions, and the legal system will deter donations or contributions to such organizations. The designation will draw public attention to the group and will alert other governments to American concerns about support for terrorism, among others. And I think the Netherlands and who am I thinking? Hungary just also designated Antifa a terrorist organization, or they're said they're going to very shortly. So it says the terrorist designation will not change the charges a federal prosecutor can make, but it will help prioritize federal resources to combat Antifa and encourage law enforcement coordination against it, according to the Heritage Foundation Senior Legal Fellow Coley Stimson and Laura Rees, the director of Heritage's Center on Border Security. It says, while Congress has defined domestic terrorism specifically as activities that involve acts dangerous to human life that are a violation of criminal law, that appear intended to intimidate or coerce a civilian population, influence policy, or affect government conduct by mass destruction, assassination, or kidnapping, and that takes place within the United States, there is no federal law assigning criminal penalties for it. The onus mostly rests on states and localities to investigate, arrest, and prosecute those who violate state law, according to Stimson and Rees. That could be a problem considering a lot of this takes place in Portland, and Portland is very friendly to these folks. So the federal government can play a role if the riots have been coordinated and funded across state lines. Yeah, then we got, they have, I should say not we, but they have problems. Stimson and Rees identified a specific federal law that rioters may have violated. Title 18, Section 2101 of the U.S. Criminal Code. That law criminalizes interstate travel or use of interstate commerce, including mail, telephone, radio, or television, to incite a riot, organize, promote, or encourage a riot, commit any acts of violence in a riot, or aid or abet any person in engaging in these activities. The crime is punishable by a fine, up to 5 years imprisonment, or both. So it seems like we're going to start seeing some news on this front. I would very much like to see this come through, because these people are very dangerous, and we know who they are, we know what they're doing, and they should be held accountable for it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.